What's up, you guys? Welcome back. If you are new, my name is Jess. I'm a recovering addict who served time in prison, and I will leave more about my journey in the description box of this video. But today's video is going to be a story time. Now, I've been meaning to film this for a long time, but I keep kind of doing other things, like randomly hydro dipping prison shoes. No, I've been meaning to film this for a long time, and the reason why I haven't is because it's super personal, and it's actually one of those stories where it's difficult to talk about because I feel like every time I talk about it, then this nightmare will reoccur and it's just kind of stressful, but I want to share this with you because I feel like it could help someone. So let's just get right into it. Get comfortable, get some coffee, get some tea, whatever you drink, because I feel like this is gonna be kind of a long story time. So way back, trigger warning. By the way, we are going to be talking about me using, so if that is a trigger for you, I love you. Click off this video, go watch someone hydro dip some stuff, okay? And I'll see you next time. But this is way back when I was still using. And I had this dream one time in New York, and then I had this dream over the course of an 8-month period after leaving New York. So when I was in New York, I was on H, and I had this one dream there right before I went on the run, which is like a whole nother story, and if you're an OG, you know that story. But I went on the run, before I went on the run, I had this dream, and it was so scary. I woke up in a cold sweat, and I was just completely panicked, and it felt so real. Then I would have this dream for 8 months straight, it felt like, when I was on Go Fast. I don't want to say the words because YouTube is crazy right now, but I feel like when I was on Go Fast, my brain was just working all of the time. It never shut off, it never rest, and I hallucinated at certain moments. And just having this dream, it intensified my dream. So what I was doing in Arkansas is I was doing Go Fast and I was doing pills. So I would go up and then I would need something to come back down. And sometimes I would even speedball. So I was doing it all day, every freaking day. And the people that were around me knew the change in me when I was up, and then when I was down. When I was down, I felt comfortable in my own skin. I felt like that was me because I was an H addict. And it was just, I wasn't uncomfortable, I wasn't insecure, I felt like me. So I'd be talking to you guys like I'm talking now, but to the people around me. Now that is weird, and I'm saying that because when I was on Go Fast, I was quiet, writing in a journal, didn't want to talk to anyone, wanted to be left alone. Sometimes I would even go to a hotel and be by myself because I didn't want people around me. I was so insecure and I felt so gross because I was so skinny. So they would kind of see those changes in my personality. But anyway, the dream, man, you guys. So this dream always took place in my hometown in New York, and there was this alley that I used to walk through all the time on a daily basis. Anytime I'm going anywhere, I'd kind of cross through this alley. And I will show you guys that when I go home at the end of next month. I'll show you guys everything. I'll show you guys this alley where I had this recurring dream. I'll show you guys how I went on the run, how I escaped parole. I'll show you all of it. I'll show you the entire town layout. I will take you for a tour, and we will see all of these things that I'm talking about, so stay tuned for that. But I'm in this alley, and it was so real. I can't even tell you guys how real this was. I feel like the words are just not doing it justice. But anyway, I'd be walking through this alley, and halfway through in the alley, there was these little apartments right here, right? So I walked through, and people would always confront me, and they'd be yelling at me, they'd maybe want money, they'd be calling me all kinds of things, and then they would shoot me, and it was always someone I knew. This part of the dream changed a lot. So it was always someone I knew, but the shooter changed, and they would point the gun at me, and they'd be talking crap, and I would be talking crap back, and they shot me in the head. Now the crazy part about this dream is when they shot me, I didn't wake up. Everything in the dream went black. Everything in the dream went black, but I could still hear what was going on, so it was almost like it really happened, like I was really shot and killed on the street. And I would hear the cops talking, they were taking things out of my pocket, and it was so surreal to me because I couldn't get up, I couldn't move. And I think why this is so difficult for me to share is because I kind of know that feeling when I overdosed and was revived with Narcan, because I was so out of it, I heard what was going on. And when I started to open my eyes, my eyesight was kind of blurry at first, and I was trying to make sense of why I'm on the ground, what the hell just happened and why are there strangers in my face? So it just felt real to me because I've kind of gone through a similar situation before where there's, you know, EMTs around me and people in my face saying my name over and over again, right? When I overdosed. So this dream just felt so real, and I could hear the cops saying, just another dealer, who's gonna call her dad, who's gonna call this person. I tried to warn her. I tried to warn her this would happen, and I hear what they're saying, and they're going through my pockets and they find H, and they're like, you know, they're saying the J word, they're calling me a junkie, and I could hear all this stuff going on. I heard pictures being taken, and then every time I hear pictures being taken, I woke up out of my dream. And the last time I remember this happening while I was still using, I jumped up out of my sleep. I reached for my pockets and I didn't feel anything in my pockets, and I was so scared. I was confused. I didn't know where I was. I was looking all around and I'm like what the fuck? And this happened all the time, you guys. And the dream changes a little bit. It's not the same exact way. Like, I would walk through the alley in different scenarios. There would be different people talking, and there was always a different shooter. But when I had this dream over and over and over and over again, I had not been in New York for a year. So then I went to prison, and then I wasn't in New York for 2 years. So I think after I got out of prison, it was another year before I went home. That's 4 years, you guys. I did not see face-to-face my family for 4 years. And then I went back because my dad had a stroke. And I had to just fly in, you know, last minute. Didn't have any plan. Didn't really know, like, what I was gonna do. Didn't know what I was walking into because my dad had just had a stroke, and he is okay now. But I remember getting on that plane terrified. I did not want to go home. I wanted to see my dad, but I didn't want to be in that town around people. I didn't want people to see me. It's a small town, so they know me, they know who I am, they know my story, and I was just scared. And I remember having a panic attack on the plane because, am I gonna run into someone? Are they gonna shoot me in this alley? Like, my mind is just racing, right? So I went home, I saw my dad, everything was fine. I kept it low key, didn't go out a bunch, you know, I just went out to get food. And the rest of the time I spent at the hospital with my dad, and I spent time around my family. So there was one moment on that first trip back to New York that I want to share with you guys, and my friend that's watching this, she's gonna be like, girl, that's crazy, I remember that, and you told me, but okay. So I was with my friend, we were spending a little bit of time together in between hospital visits, and she had to go to the store with her son, and at that time her son was 3 or 4, I want to say 4. So we pull into this grocery store, and I tell her I don't want to go inside. She's like, oh my god, you're being paranoid, like, stop. You guys, the heat in her car did not work, and it is freaking cold. It's like January or February, right? So I'm freezing, and I'm like, I would rather stay here in this car with no heat and freeze to death than, it wasn't that cold, but you know what I mean. I'd rather stay in this car cold than go inside and run into somebody. She's like, oh my god, you're being paranoid, like, stop, it's fine. I'm like, okay. And she's like, it's been a long time, no one remembers. When nothing happens in a town and it's really small, everyone remembers. People don't forget. So I'm like, fine, you're right. I got out of the car, I was waiting for her to get her son and all his little blankets out of the car because the heat had just went out, right? So I'm standing there outside the car, and there's a group of people in a circle talking, and I looked over and I recognized more than half of them, right? And I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And she's like, God, no one's staring at you, like, you're so paranoid. And she gets out of the car and she turns around and she sees them, and she's like it was like, oh my god, you know the dream Inception? It was like Inception, and keep in mind, this is not my dream now. It's like Inception, and the dream has turned on me. Like, it was so surreal. They were all staring at me and like whispering, and I was just like, oh my god. And the reason why they know who I am is because I've been arrested before. A big case happened, and I went on the run because of a big situation in my town, which I will share later. And it's like crazy, right? So I'm just like, oh man, this sucks. So every time I go to my hometown, I do have anxiety. I don't like running into people from my past. It's tough. It's tough. I only talk to a few select people from my hometown, and I only talk to them if they're sober and thriving and doing well. So that's just what I have to do, you know? And that's my story, and hopefully maybe this story can resonate with you guys and help one of you, but I think it's completely normal to have reoccurring dreams like that when you've lived the kind of life that I've lived and so many of you have lived. It's normal, and I don't want you guys to feel alone if you are struggling with those horrible nightmares from your past. A lot of you have reached out to me and you are brand new in sobriety, and I'm so proud of you and I'm so amazed by you, and you're telling me some of these things. I just want you to know it takes time. Become an addict one day and then stop the next. You were using for a long time, so you have to give your brain and your body time to adjust, time to recover, time to heal, and a lot of that just comes with time and pressure. Diamonds are made with time and pressure, you guys. So if you are still struggling, please reach out for help. I will leave information in the description box of how to contact me and we will figure it out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay safe, stay sober, stay out of the streets, and if you're having reoccurring dreams, you are not alone. I love you guys. Bye.